Welcome to the McKinnis House. I'm Sarah Fishel, and today I am making sauerkraut. Now this is a really easy sauerkraut recipe, and the cabbage is coming on in the garden really nicely. So I've brought in 1 head of cabbage, and I have washed it and rinsed it. And the one thing I need to do is take the core out of it. And so I just kind of slice it in a wedge. Because what I have to do once I have it sliced is put it on the grater and grate it into a nice fine slaw. And I don't want this heavy core that's in here. That'll be too tough to grate. So we're just going to put that aside, and then we're going to use the big wedges. And when it comes to the outer leaves of the cabbage, we're just going to peel those off. And if there's any big chunks when we're grating, then we will actually put them over there on the cutting board, and we will cut them up with a knife a little smaller. But I have a nice tin grate here that makes nice fine coleslaw. And so you just want to put it on the grater, grate it up and down, and the grater will automatically cut it in nice shards. And the one goal you have here is not to add any meat to your coleslaw. So when you get down to the small portions of the cabbage wedge, you just want to put it back on the cutting board and cut it up with a knife. And that way you'll be sure not to add any meat to your coleslaw. And you see how nice that is. It's nice and it's fine. It's just a nice fine grate. So this is one of my favorite grates to actually make cabbage with. Once we have this all grated up, we want about a 2-quart crock of cabbage. And as we grate it, we will just take and add it in there. And then we'll press it down with our little press so that it's nice and tight in there. We can make sure we have all the coleslaw in there that we want. And a little bit more in there. There's 1 large chunk, so I'll put that back on the cutting board, and then I will cut it up into smaller pieces with my knife. Because the kids, they don't really care how big the cabbage chunks are. They love this coleslaw. It's a sweet coleslaw, and so I am going to add the rest of this in here. There we go. And we're going to pack it down a little bit in there. Then we're going to add salt. It's a little humid today, so the salt's kind of sticking a little bit. Then we're going to add, that's 2 teaspoons of salt. Then we're going to add a teaspoon of sugar. We're going to add a tablespoon of vinegar. And then we're going to press that down. I will finish cutting up more of this cabbage, but in the meantime, I want to put on some water, because what's going to finish this process is 2 quarts of boiling water, and this is our 2-quart measure. So I'm going to put it on the stove, and it can start to heat. And when it's finished heating, and I'm finished cutting up all the coleslaw, the hot water will be poured over the coleslaw and vinegar mixture, and then it will be covered with a plate. It'll go right down in there, and it'll pack down in there, and it'll stay like this in the cold cellar for about 1 week, and then you'll be ready to serve your cabbage coleslaw. Finish cutting this up, and I hope you enjoyed making coleslaw at home.